Okay, here I'm using Apple Vision Pro and trying to immerse myself in the Japanese learning. And there's a lot of ways to do this, but one way is to use Twitter a lot and have lots of Japanese friend and Japanese teacher teaching Japanese. For example, this post from Aeru Sensei the other day. Oh, actually just today. She wrote in Japanese, right? I drank coffee at a cafe in the morning. It's in Japanese and then also in English. And then another sentence. It's an all-star cafe and nice place. Okay. I will try to read this. So obviously, if you know Japanese, then you can just read this, right? The kanji and the hiragana. So this one asa. I don't know I'm not very familiar with the kanji, but I know it's asa. And the next one is kisaten de kohi o nomimashita. So with the Apple Vision Pro doesn't really have translate yet, but just you can speak it out.
朝、喫茶店でコーヒーを飲みました。
So basically, it's a very simple pause, but she does this quite regularly. So it's very interesting if you want to learn something and try to acquire the sentence, try to read it and then try to understand it, and then maybe replace the coffee with something else. But I'm using Grok in this case. On the web app of X, I couldn't use Grok, but on my iPad, I can do that. So this is the mirror of my iPad. So I asked Grok to break down this Japanese, remove the words in bracket because that's just the duplicate. That's the hiragana of the kanji. So asa, it breaks it down and then also give you the romaji. Romaji is the English Japanese translation of the word, right? I can just read it now. That's the Japanese, and then the breakdown. Asa kisaten de kohi o nomimashita, which is morning at a cafe de kisaten de kohi o nomimashita. So you can replace the coffee with something else, maybe orange juice or something, or Coca-Cola, or anything you can replace with to replace the coffee, maybe tea, maybe matcha, or nomimashita. So you drink coffee in the cafe in the morning, and then sentence number 2, mukashi. Okay, it says here mukashi nagara, mukashi old time, nagara. So the style is old school. No atmosphere. The atmosphere is old school, and lovely place deshita. So the place is lovely. That's basically what it says. If we want to read it, because I'm using the iPad, I just copied this from Grok, and then so now I have it in my notes. I couldn't see this with my. And take a look inside. So I kind of make this a little bit more visible on my iPad. Try to use my hand, and the iPad have translate app. With the translate app, we can actually
昔ながらの雰囲気で素敵な場所でし。
素敵な something bashi de desh. I need to select all of these and then translate it.
昔ながらの雰囲気で素敵な場所でした。
素敵な場所でした. I can read the English as well.
It was a wonderful place with an old-fashioned atmosphere.
It's got the English UK accent, which is very nice. But anyway, so a single pause on Twitter usually have a date, right? March 1st, 2025. This is a good, kind of like a good checkpoint. Like just like when you are reading a book, oftentimes you're reading a book by page, and it's nice to have some kind of spatial. You can remember and go back to the book and then find which page you actually find the contents. In term of Twitter, you get a lot of pause, and then every day maybe a couple of pause, and then you can read it. This is one immersive. Imagine like, okay, it's just a 2 sentence. I drank coffee at a cafe in the morning. 朝、喫茶店でコーヒーを飲みました。朝、maybe matcha. Uh, 朝喫茶店で抹茶を飲みました。So by doing that, make a couple of sentences using the same thing. You are acquiring this sentence. You can use it in the future. And then, yeah, it's an old style cafe. It's a nice place. Maybe it could be a modern style cafe, and it's a nice place. Let me try how to say in Japanese, it's a modern style cafe and nice place. In Siri reading it, それは modern style no cafe. It's easier like this. 素敵な場所です。素敵な場所です。素敵な let me 素敵な場所よです。Yeah, it's been used there as well. The first part is simpler with Siri. Let me try reading it again. So there is translate and there's just speak. Translate.
昔ながらの雰囲気で素敵な場所でした。
素敵な場所でした. So it's and then you can find this breakdown from the Japanese word by word, but it's explaining everything. And you can learn the kanji and also how you read some of this additional grammar to make the sentence. But basho is a place, and then deshita was the past form of this. And the emoji actually helps in this case. So that's just, like one way you can kind of immerse yourself with a Japanese and try to learn the sentence and then try to acquire it. In the future, if you want to say, okay, asa, which is like morning, kisaten is a cafe, some kind of cafe, Japanese cafe. Kisaten de kohi o nomimashita. I drank coffee in the morning. I drank coffee at a cafe in the morning. It's just that sentence, and then you just try to memorize it, but by reading it many, many times, and then slowly trying to make new sentence with you just replace some of the wording. You can get that part of the Japanese. I watched another YouTube video the other day. It was really useful actually. It's just say, this is an apple. これはリンゴ. This is an orange. これはみかん or これはオレンジ, right? This is a watermelon. これはスイカ. And just repeating the same sentence many times with different objects, it's your brain started to make some kind of connections. Not the hard one, just the easy one first until your brain starting to get the concept. So yeah, it's if you just have the iPad or just iPhone, it's actually just fine. You don't need this immersive Vision Pro environment. I just like to do it this way. Just want to show you the thing and then just record without showing my actual environment. It's very private in a way if you want to, and you can have like floating windows as well. So it's good to save things inside notes or inside a freeform app and then try to write it down. Freeform is always kind of fun to have, to write it down. So on the iPad, you can do the same thing. Like I said, with the Vision Pro, it's kind of immersive. Everything is floating in front of you. You can write it. You can write down the kanji if you want to. This is what asa, morning, right? Morning, asa, and then you write down all. Whenever, with the kanji, there is no other way. You just write it down. But if you understand the meaning, and then it's just repetition of the writing, right? But yeah, all this hiragana, katakana, also something I don't remember. I started to be able to just read it faster and faster, but still kind of slow. Maybe I'm still like baby level of Japanese, but it's getting better. Yeah, write it down into this, even though it's a very simple sentence. Once you able to write it down, maybe just use iPad and Apple Pencil. It's starting to get into your head, and it's easier over time, I think. Sometimes, writing it down like that is maybe not the best if I want to use. Okay, if I use this website, yeah, this is more satisfying. This is morning. You read it kunyomi. You read it asa, and you can have some example. And then this is how the word get together. It's the mixture of this moon and also another kanji writing. But you can have breakfast, morning newspaper, and asa, asa, morning sun, asahi, breakfast, asa gohan, this morning, kesa, kesa, yeah, kesa. Yeah, I think this is kind of useful, good enough environment to learn the Japanese. And so if you have sentence posts like this on Twitter, thank you, Aero Sensei. Just using it for example, but it's very interesting ways to learn a language. Okay, in this case Japanese, but can be any language. All right, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.